Albert Amos, Mayor Snyder,
Here.
Scott Hill,
Here.
Mark Lally,
Here.
Tom Pitt,
Here.
Sharon Hans,
Here.
Lynn Reed,
Here.
George Stranger,
Here.
and Joseph Rebecki.
Here.
Thank you.
Sure what I use, I just know.
Next up is approval of prior meeting minutes. We should have draft minutes from our last meeting of May 17. So give everyone an opportunity to review, and I'll entertain a motion to approve or amend.
Make a motion to approve.
Support. Been moved and supported to approve the minutes as drafted. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll bring the matter to vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes as drafted signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, they're approved. Correspondence. Any correspondence? No correspondence. All right. We're now going to move to the public hearing. And is this document we're reading further? Okay. All right, that's the notice. All right, so we're going to have a public hearing on comments and proposed City of Albion comprehensive plan. We're going to start off by having staff give a little background as to the process, and then I don't believe we've received any correspondence regarding this. And then you have some.
There's some written correspondence on the public hearing.
All right. And then we'll have public hearing portion of the of that with any questions, and then a finding of facts. So with that, Mr. Arnold, to have you give us a little bit of a report on this process.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have reached the end of our 63-day review period for the comprehensive plan. And it is now at the Planning Commission's discretion to recommend that Council adopts the comprehensive plan for 2022 through 2026. We have received to date only one formal written comment on the plan, and I believe the public hearing is available tonight for any residents in attendance to provide their comments on the plan as well. The written comments we've received, I believe, were drafted by Linda Lanou and Dr. Ashley Woodson. They're a little bit lengthy for me to kind of take our time reading here, but I do have handouts that I'll pass out unless there's any further questions.
All right. And what happens after this, Mr. Arnold?
After the public hearing specifically, or just after tonight?
After tonight.
After tonight, provided that the commission votes to recommend the draft of the comprehensive plan to council, it will go to council's next meeting where they will hopefully adopt it, and that will be our new comprehensive plan. It will be updated from our 2017 plan, which is quite a bit outdated at this point, and we'll be able to use the document that the Planning Commission and the Steering Committee, working with Beckett and Rader, our consultants on the task, worked to put together.
All right.
Pass these around.
Okay, so Mr. Arnold, this the little over one-page document, do we know who this is from?
Yeah, so this was sent to you, the city manager, the assistant city manager, and myself from Linda Lanou a couple weeks ago. I do not believe we should have put it in the agenda packet since it's public comment. I could be mistaken about that. But yeah, on the document itself, there isn't really identifying information, but I'll state for the record that this was received from Linda Lanu.
Okay, well, I'm going to read this into the record
Okay.
as correspondence regarding this comprehensive plan. It's entitled City of Albion's 5-Year Comprehensive Plan Feedback During the Public Input Period. The lack of adequate representation in the survey results present several ethical and potentially legal concerns for how the community is represented within the plan. The following recommendations stem from discussions held with community members since May 2022, when the dissemination process began for the draft for distribution. Due to the limited number of people engaged in the community visioning session and the low number of responses for items, I've been advised that we remove from the final draft Weakness, College President's House, page 103. Overall, the plan's goals provide a good start to represent the needs of the city, yet there are key missing elements. And those include, at the beginning of Chapter 9, implementation, there needs to be more information about the progress that the city made during the last 5 years, what was learned through the challenges we faced, and how we're better positioned now to strive toward the goals in the chapter. This could be an appendix with a compilation of updates from the 2017 plan's goals. Another item, adding success metrics to the goals will help to ensure accountability across changes in municipal leadership, plus the ability measure of success for public goals needs to be continually defined, reviewed, and evaluated in partnership with the community at large. Another point, for more equitable evaluation of the city's progress, another appendix item is included below. The resources are available here, and it's a website called equitableBelieveAll.org. Another point, missing goals. Under Community Goal 1, create a community strategic plan to break down larger community goals and begin a collective impact approach to address them. Also under Community Goal 1, add as an action item transparent grant reporting from the City of Albion and its partners, plus intentionally create low-burden experiences for residents to interact with the City of Albion and serve on boards, commissions in order to facilitate more cooperation for those who want more engagement. This looks like simple online accessibility to informational sources and providing different formats of information with open access to everyone that is seeking information. That is, videos, audio files for people who are legally blind, people who cannot read, and people who are limited English proficient. Housing Goal 1, include language that speaks to preventing displacement for current residents and MSHDA's racial equity priority. Physical Goal 1, add assess all barriers to youth residents' access to programs, that is, locations, street lighting for pedestrians, safety of bus routes and bus stops. Physical Goal 2, outreach for residents and stakeholders to have low-burden access to processes related to property acquisition, zoning, and tax payments, that is, keeping residents as homeowners. And Economic Development Goal 2, identify communities' priorities to create a community benefits ordinance for all pending and new development projects. All right. So now I'm going to open the public speaking portion of the hearing. Instead of having people first in support or people in opposition, I'm going to ask people simply to come forward, identify themselves, and then if you have comments about the proposed comprehensive plan or other comments, you can certainly give them. Does anyone wish to come forward during public speaking portion of the hearing? What's that?
Sorry, it looks like we just have the one on Zoom.
We have someone on Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's do that.
Good evening. This is Lulu. I just wanted to.
We can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, just give us your name and your address.
Lulu, 1102 East Michigan Avenue. I just wanted to thank you for sharing the comments that I submitted and let you know that I was connected virtually if there are any questions or need for further clarification.
Okay, so, any questions for Ms. Lanu, commissioners? I did not see any questions. Do you have anything else you wish to say, Ms. Lanu?
No, not at the time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to address the commission during the public hearing? All right, and we'll close that portion of the hearing. All right, so now, finding of facts. Any comments from commissioners regarding the proposed comprehensive plan and comments that we received? Yeah, Tom.
You know, when I'm trying to find the land use map that I thought in the land use map there's a landlocked parcel off of Haven Road that I thought we addressed during a previous public input session. And I wish it was in color because it stands out a little bit more. Do we have a color map? Okay.
Well, there's a zoning map behind you.
I think it's this parcel right here that I'm referring to, and I thought that homeowner came and addressed us early on in the stages of this, and I can't recall what the situation was there and what we determined, but I just want to make sure that we address those needs, and that says a landlocked parcel within I think the college district, and it didn't look like it was zoned as anything on the map that in the plan. I just want to make sure that we zone that correctly for that homeowner.
I'll make sure we look into that.
Okay.
I looked at that parcel recently, though I was not around when they came to us in the first place. I believe they have an easement. I've driven back there,
Okay.
so there's access at least, but I believe they have a formal easement, and I'll make sure that that gets corrected.
Okay.
If it's not in the in-color version.
Any other commissioner questions or comments? All right, so what we have before us is a proposed comprehensive plan, and again, Mr. Arnold, we've gone past, or at least met the 63 days for this document to be out for comment, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the last comprehensive plan was passed in 2017, is that right?
That's correct.
It's a 5-year plan, so it's time for the next plan to be approved. Okay. All right, and we're going to close the hearing, and now we're going to move on to order of business, and really the only business we have has to do with what we just dealt with in the public hearing, and that's for this body to consider the approval and formal recommendation of the City of Albion Comprehensive Plan to the Albion City Council. We have a proposed plan before us, which has been developed over quite a number of months, gone through a number of processes. Any questions, comments, or motions from commissioners?
I make the motion that we remove the college president's house as a weakness, as listed on page 103.
Second. Mark Lely.
Who second?
Mark Lely.
Oh, okay. So Mark, you're distancing?
Yeah, I have a cold. I tested negative at
Okay.
the place.
All right. All right, so we're looking on page 103. And at the top, so
The page numbers are at the bottom if anybody's confused on the page number.
So, Mr. Arnold, what does page 103 represent? Because it talks about votes.
Yeah, so that is the section of the plan that lists the comments we received from our survey. So unless I'm mistaken, everything in that section were comments we received in that engagement survey we did in December from the public.
So this is a description. It's not a part of the plan which is saying that there's a weakness.
Correct. So when it states that the college president's house is a weakness, that is commentary from a resident on a survey that we provided them on behalf of this.
With 4 votes, right.
And so that is not, I understand how it looks contained within the whole document, but that is not a comment being made by the city. That
This
is
is a
us
record.
Yeah, we had a similar comment to that, I believe, about one of the college fraternity houses, and we brought it up in our steering committee meetings and felt that we didn't really have license to alter that feedback. If we were going to include some of it, we should include all of
No,
it.
I understand completely. Tom, do you still want to move that?
Well, I thought that we had, when we discussed that, we had talked about putting some kind of explanation in the plan about what this section was and what those results were and what they represent, and that it's not necessarily part of the plan, but it's responses to our public engagement portion. And I thought we had talked about putting that sort of little explanation in the beginning of that section. Maybe, I don't know, does anybody else recall that?
I definitely recall that conversation. I'm sorry if that was not reflected in
Is
the
that-
draft we have here tonight.
So Tom, is that an amended motion to?
Well,
have
we can
something?
either remove that thing, or we can add explanation of what the survey results are in the appendix here. That starts on page 73 on the bottom, or 79 at the top of the pages. So that people reading this they understand better what these survey results are.
I understand. So what exactly is your motion?
I'll rescind the motion and then make a new motion that we add an explanation of the intent of the survey results, or the capacity of the survey results, and what they actually represent.
Okay.
I rescind my second.
Okay, we have a motion which has been supported, and that is to make an amendment to page 103 to add an explanatory sentence or two, basically indicating that these are the results of a survey at a certain point,
Right, and not necessarily part of the strategic plan or comprehensive plan of the
Okay.
community.
Right, and there's an asterisk down the bottom saying it doesn't reflect the views of city administration.
Is there? Oh,
Yeah.
So what would you say? Because when it says college president's house, that's the actual house, the frame, and that's a beautiful place. So what are you going to put there to?
It's not.
So it's not just specific to that item, but specific to the 2 pages that shows all of the items that are strength, weakness, opportunities, because these are all,
What pages are those?
so it's at the bottom, you're looking at the bottom page number, 103 and 105.
I see that sentence at the bottom in the small print now, and I'm just wondering if we shouldn't add that to page 73 as well, just so that, and maybe larger print, so that that people might know and see that more clearly as to what these results actually represent.
So these are respondents.
Yeah.
All right, let's first deal with this. So this motion, the motion is to add descriptive language at the top of this table, so it makes it clear that these are the results of the survey, that they're not the recommendations or the prescriptions of the comprehensive plan itself. This has been moved and supported. Any further discussion on this?
Was the new motion supported?
Yes, it was by Mr. Lally, I think.
Well, I rescinded my support of the first motion, but I support the second motion.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes, it's supported.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, we'll bring the matter to the vote. Everyone who supports signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, so that's passed. We have a description added there. Now, Tom, you mentioned something about page 73.
Well, if we make that language more noticeable on those two survey results pages, I think I'll be satisfied with that.
Okay. Any other discussion, comments, questions, motions? Do I have a motion for any action on this plan?
Motion to approve the plan as drafted with the amendments that were previously voted on.
I support.
Moved and supported to approve the plan with the amendment to be sent to the city council. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it to a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so, Mr. Arnold, you're clear on?
Yeah, we'll make the changes to the amendment and we will change the document before it goes to council at their next meeting.
Okay, great. All right, absent board members, did we get any notice of whoever is absent?
Robert Amos.
Is that?
Robert Amos. Hey, did we, I don't know.
I was just asking if we got any notice.
I did not receive any notice.
All right.
The only notice I got was from Sharon and she showed up late.
All right.
I'm very ill, but I'm good, I'm safe.
All right, any commissioner comments? Any, I don't know, maybe someone in the public came just to talk to us instead of at the public hearing. Any public wish to come forward to discuss? All right, well then I'll take, entertain a-
Excuse me, Commissioner Strander or Chairman Strander.
Sorry, I keep on forgetting we have Zoom.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I wanted to share in terms of the weakness with the 4 votes. That was from the community visioning session, wherein there were maybe 30 people present. So in terms of the voting that took place, it was amongst a very small and limited group, but that was not the result of the survey data. So I just wanted to be clear in terms of the amendment that was made or the language that was not from the survey, but from an in-person session.
Right. Yep, I think Mr. Arnold has that.
Okay. And then I also would welcome feedback from the Planning Commission members regarding why the other items that were requested to be added as goals for further clarification were not included.
don't know if any commissioners want to talk about that or not. All right, anything else, Ms. Lanu?
No, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
A second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.